Hi guys, this is I watched a movie. Now let's talk about it. I watched this movie. It's called Soul. Have you heard about it? Have you seen it? At the end of this video I'll tell you, was it worth the watch? Did I enjoy it? Did I not enjoy it? So the movie starts with this guy. His name is Joe. He's a band teacher, but he really loves jazz. Like, that's his passion. That's what he wants to do. Like in real life, like in a real life, that's what he wants to do. He gets this permanent stay like at the school, but this isn't what he wants to do. He wants to go out. He wants to do jazz. Like, he wants to like become this person. Okay, cool. There's this one person in that class that isn't horrible. Just one person. Like the music, like when it was starting and I heard the music, I was like, God, no, please don't. But there's this one person in the class and she saved the day. Like, she saved the day. Like, you know, oh, there's this one person that makes your job worth doing. I think for Joe, this girl was that one person, because the rest of them, this guy calls Joe and he's like, I know that you want to do jazz. I know that you're a good jazz player. So there's this lady and somebody dropped out of the band and we want someone to replace him. He was like, okay, Joe, like, you're that person. This guy was a former student of Joe, by the way. Joe is all happy, right? The way this man was prancing in the street, and I was like, Joe, you're literally going to die. Joe, you are going to die. Cars were passing him by an inch. He missed death by an inch, like so many times. And the way he died, he fell in a hole. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, you escaped death so many times and this is how you're gonna die. But anyway, he died and now he's in the great beyond, and the sound of this thing is like scary. It was just speaking of the persons that were dying, that the sound was scary. Like, I would not want to go that way. So Joe saw these persons, like there were 3 other persons, like being going up to the great beyond, you know, die central. They did not seem to care at all that they were like going in the great beyond, like never to see again what awaits us over there. They seemed like quite okay. There was this woman, she was like soul, it was like 100 and something, so I guess she was okay to die. Like, it didn't even matter to her. So while they were going up, Joe was like going this way, because Joe was like no, I just got this gig, man. All I wanted was finally coming through. Now I'm not going to die. So he goes this way while everybody's going that way. He ends up in this place where there's all these other souls. They're giving them personalities to like go into like human bodies, like to become the human. He gets mistaken for this guy and he is supposed to mentor this girl, 22, into, you know, finding her spark, getting the one thing on her body to put her soul in a human body. But she's been there for a while and she's not interested in going into under her into a human body at all. She's very proud of herself, actually, with the whole thing. She's very proud, very proud. Joe actually told this girl that, listen, I'm not the person that everybody thinks I am. So they're like on this scheme now to get Joe back into his body, and she's like, I got to see this. No, I don't care about going to her, but I want to see like what is your life about that you're that eager to go back to it, because Joe is on a mission to get back into his body. His body is somewhere in a hospital, just like laying there. I kind of thought that he died though, so the fact that his body is there and he's like on the machine and everything, I'm like, Joe, you're not dead, like you're still alive. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. How did they get back into Joe's body? There was an opening and they were going back, but Joe was so eager. Joe was so eager, like there's my body, got to get into the body. He ends up like pushing or hitting or somehow, but 22 got into his body and he got into a cat. So now Joe is the cat and 22 is in Joe's body. She actually gets to like see around and stuff, and she's like, okay, her maybe isn't that bad. But before she even got to saying, okay, probably it isn't that bad, she wasn't about it. Like, seeing her trying to walk, that was hilarious, because in the soul body she didn't have legs and all these good stuff. It was literally just like a face this much and hands like floating me right now. Like, this was literally her. I should mention that all this time as well, the keeper, he is like, there's a soul missing because Joe didn't go into the thing, so he's like on a mission to get back the soul. He doesn't know that Joe is the soul that's missing, by the way. It was kind of irritating, but at the same time he was doing his job. Like, if something goes missing and it's his job to fix it, and he was actually like fixing it, and I was just like, it wasn't even that irritating, but he was in a kind of way. The other people that were there, they were cool. There were persons like when the zone out, those guys were, if you've seen the movie then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then you probably are lost. But yeah, so they got into the body and she finds out like about eating like pizza and like seeing the petal falling from a tree, or was it like a leaf falling from a tree. Probably this isn't that bad. Leaving like the hospital and stuff, the lady that he was supposed to like get the gig with, she wasn't that nice, by the way. Like, I guess that you're, you know, being an entertainer and all that stuff, like, you cannot be nice to people for what reason, I don't really know. But she wasn't really that nice. I thought that this was actually Whoopi Goldberg, but it wasn't. It was Angela Bassett. I was like, really? I could have sworn that was Whoopi Goldberg, and I did not know that it was Jamie Foxx. Didn't think of who it might have been, but did not think it was Jamie Foxx like at all. But he did. Superb job, they all did. So this entertainer woman, she sees him and she's like, this man is crazy. This man is, she doesn't want him to do the gig anymore. The guy that had called Joe and said that he was getting the gig, he was like, we're not doing that anymore because the lady thinks that you're crazy, because like hospital going and stuff, like. But it was like, get a good suit and everything. We'll try to convince her. Just come to the thing early. All this time as well, Joe is trying to get back into his body. But he needs to get there earlier so that he can win back his spot to play with this lady. While he was in the cat's body, he kind of got to see like stuff that he did not notice while being himself. He went to the barber, they were like talking and stuff, and like he found out so many stuff like about the barber, about like things that he would not have seen like if he had not like been like taken aback, like step out of his body and stuff. So he saw a lot of things and he was like, okay, but through all this he still wanted to get back into his body because like that's the goal. So they ended up going back to the soul place. Don't remember what the name of it was. They ended up getting back there because now 22 was like, okay, Earth isn't that bad, I'm staying. But Joe wants his body back. 22 is in Joe's body. He was literally chasing her. They fell in the thing again. Now that they're back, they realize that 22, she can go to Earth now because like she's gotten her spark. She ends up giving it to Joe. However, it was kind of like, okay, if you want it that bad, take it. Joe goes back and he went back his spot with the lady that he wanted to convince that yes, I'm a jazz player, I can do this. He wooed her, by the way. He was like, smashed it, did the dang thing or whatever. So he did a really good job and they decided to take him. He's looking all smashing in his blue suit or whatever. In all this, he realizes that yeah, I love playing jazz. Yeah, I want to do this forever, but at the same time it's like I don't feel the way I think that I would have felt, you know, like, you know, when just working towards something and wanting something so badly, and then when you get it, like, it's not all that. I thought it would have felt better. Now he's on the piano, he's playing his jazzy music, and he ends up back in the soul. I'm gonna call it the soul universe. So he ends back up there, only to find that 22 is actually lost, like there are lost souls, and she becomes like this monstrous kind of thing. He convinces her, you've earned it, because remember, Soul was the kind of person that she wasn't interested in. Now she's like, okay, Earth isn't that bad. So they both go, even though he's basically trading himself for her. Well, he was dead before technically, so like, and they dived in together. I guess she went into a body I really wanted to see, however, getting into a body like what she would be like and everything, but we did not see that. We just saw that she went to her. The persons in the great beyond, they were so impressed with everything and getting 22 to like want to go to her, like earn her badge. They gave him another chance and he went back into his body and he was like, I won't waste this opportunity anymore, I will live and everything like that. Just basically like was told that he would do all these things. We didn't actually see it. I would have loved to like actually see it, but that was cool. Like, this is actually one of those kind of movies that makes you think about things that like you don't always want what you think you want. That's my takeaway. Like, you can be working your whole life towards something, think that you want this thing because like I need to get this thing, I have to work towards this thing. But then when you get it, just like, yeah, I could have done without it, you know. So that's my review, my little summing up of Soul. Was it a good watch? Absolutely. Would I recommend? Absolutely. If you have not seen it yet, then do that. If you like this reaction, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your bell notifications on, and I'll see you in my next TED Talk or whatever. This isn't how I end my movie reviews, but